Hey guys, welcome to JanLeah Junction.
My name is Janice.
My name is Leah, and welcome to our first podcast episode.
So how was your week? What have you been up to?
It's currently Wednesday. I have not been doing much. I have no job. Yesterday I did a lot of cleaning. So as I mentioned in the last video, I live with my parents, and my mom got some dental work last weekend. So she's been in some pain, so she can't do any heavy lifting or anything like that. And then my dad got some like shots in his arm, and like the sensation, his carpal tunnel. So the sensation on his fingertips is a little bit like off. So I changed the air filters in the house yesterday. I cleaned the kitchen. I vacuumed the living room, my mom's room, my mom's office. I feel like I did something else, but I don't recall. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a lot.
Don't you clean like the stove or something?
I mean, that's part of cleaning the kitchen, no?
Oh yeah. She did a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound like a lot, but it was a lot.
And then on top of that, as our workout yesterday, we went walking around stores for an hour and a half.
We did some window shopping.
Yeah. And
it was actually really... I was exhausted by the end, but I don't think it was from the walking. It was just like all of a sudden I was sleepy.
Yeah. And because our Mexico trip is coming up next week, like literally like in a week and a half, I had to buy some things. And today, actually, before filming the video, I mean, sorry if this covers part of what you were saying, what you were gonna say, but I came over and we made this cabbage soup. Seen this video, and she supposedly lost 15 pounds in a week, and we're hoping that's us.
But we're gonna have to eat this like
religiously
for lunch and dinner for every day.
But that's not gonna be enough for lunch and dinner.
Well, we're just gonna have to make another batch.
Yeah, but we made some. We haven't eaten it yet though. Probably shouldn't be eating this late, but
I just didn't want to be, because once I eat, I get real, like, I'm over it. So I wanted to be energetic for this.
On top of that, we've been drinking chia seed water. I literally just started last night.
I've been doing it for like 2 weeks, but not like every day. You know?
I do feel like, because like last night I made some of the chia seed water. I let it sit in the fridge, and then when I went to grab it, I also grabbed a bag of chips. And like, it's also the Mexican chips. They're literally called chips, and so when you eat them, you freaking are coughing a lot. So it's like kind of hard to enjoy the chips, anyways. But I did eat I ate like 4, and then I was like, well, I'm not. I'm not like 6. But I was like, no, I'm done. This had me full.
Those chips are really good with dip, like with like a little cream cheese.
And also like
sour cream
calms down the spice. It's not even spicy. It's just like the spices that they use attack you. That makes you cough.
Attack your throat.
How's your week?
My week has been good. What have I done? Oh, I got my hair done on Saturday, so got some long layers, dyed it blue black, so that was fun. She did like a really cute blowout when she did it.
She looks like the emo kid from the one.
Here's the Who?
Yeah.
Is it
Horton Hears the Who, from the Dr. Seuss film.
Well,
I'm just kidding. You look really good.
Thank you. Although I did have a crush on him when I was a kid, so maybe that's okay. Other than that, I did some homework on Sunday. And then what have I done this week? I've pretty much just been over at your house. My dad made this really good southern cabbage thing, and that's what kind of inspired this whole cabbage soup thing. Just know it worked.
Well, I'm not gonna say much. That first day I had a cabbage though, because we had it yesterday and the day before. Just know that shit had my bowels moving.
They were running for their lives.
Not to not sound not ladylike. That canceled out. Not to sound unladylike, but literally like literally we went to the gym, was on the treadmill for like 7 minutes, and then I was like, all right, you're gonna have to finish the gym workout. I gotta go handle my business.
Yeah. So that's kind of what inspired this, because I had actually seen a video. We're not gonna cut this out. Okay.
Well, I'm known editing.
Oh yeah. Well, I had actually seen a video about it a while ago, but I just never, I see a lot of videos and I'm like, oh, I should do that, and then I don't do them. So once that happened, I was like, hey, we should do that, because we only have a week to go before the trip, and like now's the time. to really commit to
rather
trying to
than
lose weight.
rather than when we first started going to the gym in April.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, other than that, it's just been work. Yeah, that's been my week.
Oh, I got a job.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I mentioned it in the video before.
I don't think it had
So watermelon makes me burp a lot. Also having anxiety too. That's a story for another time. But I don't know. I interviewed with them last Tuesday or Wednesday. I don't know when I applied. I think I applied like the weekend before. I interviewed with them on, I want to say Wednesday, and then
Oreo says hi.
and then they set up like a follow-up. So I had a phone interview on Wednesday with the recruiter, and then she scheduled an actual like Zoom interview with the managers for the following day, and they seemed to really like me. She reached out to me on Saturday and told me that they really liked me, and it's a remote position, and so that they wanted to connect with me this week to offer me the position officially. And connected with her on Monday, officially offered me the position. It's looking really good. I am waiting to hear back from one more place that I interviewed at, and I'm kind of hoping I get that job, because although it's not remote, I just see myself growing more there. But this job that I did get sounds really good on paper. Like, it looks really good.
Which can be scary, because, you know, a lot of places, they really, like, sell themselves and they do a good job at it, and then you get there and you're like, what happened to our team as a family?
And they like always say, this company always has, and I have heard of their company before, that's why I have some kind of basic knowledge on them, but that their customers are their number one priority, which I get, and they are, any company is obviously going to emphasize that. But to me, it's also important to emphasize that they care about their employees.
Yeah,
because I've been in a situation where employees are not cared about,
as she discussed.
And I'm not trying to go back to that.
Yeah.
The reason I said that anxiety also makes me burpy is because last year I was in a position where I was going to be able to move out of my parents' home, and I was very nervous to tell them, like, oh my gosh, I literally could not eat. I was throwing up. Nah, I didn't throw up for real, but I literally felt sick to my stomach about telling them. And so the whole time, she was at the house when I told my parents, the whole time leading up to me telling them, I could not stop burping, and Janice kept laughing. I just could not stop burping and burping. Like, there'd be little burps, like, let me try to recreate it. Stuff like that.
Like that, but like back to back to
like
back.
3 in a minute. Crazy stuff.
It was crazy.
I had hella bad anxiety. And then I ended up telling them, I'm crying while telling them, still burping. Anyways.
She said,
I didn't end up moving out. I had some car issues, and I had to focus on my car issues.
The universe made it so that was not the time. But I feel like whenever the time comes again, it's like building you up for something better, you know?
Right. That's actually how I got the situation happened. That's how I got my current car. I keep looking over there. I need to look over there. I used to have a 2016 Hyundai Accent, kind of beat up. And then now I have a 2021 Toyota Camry. His name is Marvin. My old car's name is Petunia. May she rest in peace. And this car's name is Marvin. I love him. He is my baby. But yeah, that was the story on the burping and the anxiety. It literally was like crazy. And she can't get over it. Like, to this day, she'll be like, you're gonna tell parents that you're moving out.
It was just so funny because I didn't know that was a thing for you.
I didn't know either.
And B, I don't know, there's no B. It was just because I didn't know that was a thing for you, and it was just funny to hear. Because it was, when I tell you guys, it was back to back to back. It was for real, like, it was crazy. We wrote some, like, notes for this podcast so that we know, like, what we want to touch on. It kind of sucks that we, like, not sucks, but that we see each other every day and, like, talk 24/7. Because there's like nothing new to talk about between us, you know. There's new stuff we could say to that, but I feel like it's more interesting.
So now she's keeping stuff from me, just for y'all. So we better get at least 5 subscribers from this video.
Wow. Anyway, so the first topic that I put on here was something that I've been like realizing about myself that I was gonna tell you, and it was like, I don't know why it came up. I can't remember why I realized this, but I realized that I don't feel like an adult. Like, I feel like I'm a child pretending to be an adult.
What's that called? Disassociation?
Is it?
Is it?
Is
like
it?
you feel like you're not living the life that you are living?
I thought that was like imposter.
Oh, imposter syndrome.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm like, I need to start, because like, I feel like because of that, I don't actually act as, not that I act, well, how do I word it? I feel like if I felt like I was an adult, I would feel more confident in the things that I do. But instead, I feel like I'm like the little baby in the room when I'm not. Like, I'm fucking 27. Bitch, you're almost 30.
I
Grow
also,
the fuck up.
I feel like it's because, like, especially growing up, even on TV shows, but even especially in our personal lives, like, we think that the adults around us have it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just now noticing that on your eyes. I didn't notice it before. That they, to this day, my parents probably don't feel like, well, my dad might swear that he does, but they might not feel like they know what they're doing, or that they're like the typical blank-year-olds.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that just comes with the territory of growing up.
But it's like, I'm already grown up. You know, like, of course,
Okay,
I'm
but we're
gonna get
always
older.
growing up. This is your first time being 27.
I just feel like I should be more like
I feel like
certain of myself,
that's
more
the
sure of
you.
myself.
That's the you that's being hard on you, and I think that you should like.
I don't think that, because I'm not. It's not that I'm mad at. Well, I think it's my higher self telling me, okay, bitch, it's time. You know, like, just be sure of yourself, even if you're wrong.
Then if that's
Do
the
it
case,
with confidence. You know, be wrong.
you
with
gotta
confidence.
fake it till you make it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was all. I was gonna talk
Really?
about. Yeah, not
I'm
that
just kidding.
interesting.
No,
but
I
it's
mean,
because I'm trying to have things to talk about and like actually have. Because I feel like if I told you about this before, you would have been like, yeah, I need that. You know?
no, stop. I don't know. Well, even to relate to that experience, it's like, I mean, I'm 21. I know I have like, I'm nowhere near. I'm just kidding. But like especially measuring wherever I am at in life to other people who are my age in life. You know what I mean? Like, one of my best friends, her boyfriend owns a home, and so they rent that out. And then like she owns a home right now, and she is working on her master's, and she's a teacher. And I've always wanted to be a teacher. But that's just not in the cards for me at this point. I caught myself not comparing, but kind of like beating myself up about certain things. Mm-hmm. Especially when she first moved into her house. And it's not because I'm not happy for her, it's because I'm so happy for her that I want that for myself. But I kind of had to like stop looking at it from Leah's perspective and look at it from like an omniscient perspective, I guess, and just kind of be sure that like it's all gonna work out. And honestly, like,
Sorry, I'm getting all cozied up next to you.
I'm not cutting any of this out, by the way.
It looked like a worm.
I forgot what I was saying. I just kind of had to cut that part out, the uncertainty, and like that's how I go through my day by day. That's why like this having no job thing has not stressed me out. I mean, it stresses me out obviously, but like I'm not gonna let it overpower my life, which my parents might disagree with that approach because they probably think that should be all that I'm thinking about. But unfortunately, that's y'all. That's not me, and we just have different.
We love you, mom and dad.
It's just different mindsets, and I think that that's allowed, especially because like yes, they raised me and they blessed me with the life that I'm living, and I'm eternally grateful. My experiences are not their experiences, and vice versa. You know what I mean? And my opinions are not their opinions. So it's just like,
and I think it's just because I see it from their perspective too, especially not because like when I was your age, I was like why can't they just chill the fuck out? And now I see it from both sides. Like, I see it from your side because I was there, but then I also see it from their side because I get that they're not, which I think you know, but you don't like fully grasp it until you're older, that they're obviously not trying to do any wrong by you. They're just worried. They want to make sure that you're as prepared for life as you can be.
oh, I think said ass, and I was like, what?
As prepared for life as you can be, and that you're not like making bad choices and like following. Oh, wow.
Which I get, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn from their mistakes because I know that's what they're trying to do. Like, get me to learn from their mistakes. And it's not like I'm not doing that. And I think that they think that sometimes that just because I disagree with them, that I'm being blind, which I might very well be, but it's just like there's different approaches to everything, and like sometimes I feel like if it's not their approach, they can get a little bit upset about it.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to pull myself out of that too. Like, I'm obviously not going to take what their advice with a grain of salt. I'm going to take it heavily. But like I said, there's just different approaches to everything. It either works out or it doesn't.
I also think like once you do start like doing things off on your own, they're gonna recognize that like they can trust your judgment. I think right now they're just unsure if they can trust your judgment, because that's one thing. And don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that once they trust your judgment, they're never gonna say anything to you again, because they will. But I remember one time my dad telling me, he was giving me advice about something, and he's like, but you do what feels right for you. I'm starting to, or I realized that,
I mean, to this
he
day,
said something along the lines of like the fact that even though he doesn't always agree with what I do, it ends up working out for me. Something.
it was
along
not too long ago, like 3 or 4 years ago, I remember.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, to this day, he still says that. Like, it's just sometimes the approach is a little crazy. But like he does say like, do whatever you think is best for you. Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that he's gonna like stop telling you what he thinks is best. Sorry.
And I was relating all this back to what you were saying as to not feeling an adult. You're just never going to feel like an adult. Even when you're a grandma, you're never going to feel like an adult.
That's what I was gonna say. I feel like I'm always waiting for that. Like, I remember thinking like, okay, when I move out of my parents' house, I'm gonna feel like an adult. And then it was like, okay, when I live with my boyfriend, I'm gonna feel like an adult. Okay, when I have an actual house and not just an apartment, I'm gonna feel like an adult. And right now I'm at the point in life, I'm like, well, when I have kids, I'm gonna feel like an adult. And it's like,
And there's like a saying that I've been seeing. It's like we spend all of our life wishing. And we waste it because we're not living in the moment.
yeah.
So it's hard, but we just kind of have to live in the moment and stop. We just have to wait for tomorrow to come, not for the next year, 5 years, 10
and
years.
even then, like, remembering to ground ourselves, and be in the present. Like, it's so hard to be in the present because we're always thinking about what we could have done differently or what we should do in the future. And I think you're right that a lot of that comes from comparison. I think there's a saying that's like, comparison is the devil or something like that. Because it's like,
comparison is the devil. Isn't it like comparison is the thief of joy?
That's what it is, not the devil.
Comparison is the devil. Like, what?
Yeah, you're right. Comparison is the
Do your dogs want to go outside? I shut it.
Oh, that's why. We've got a little guest appearance.
Oh, he's warm.
From the baby, Zen Zen.
Hi, baby. Oh, no. He tries to run away from me. When I love him.
It's because he just needs to be in the mood. He'll cuddle.
Oh, look at his eyes. He's like, bitch, I'm over you. I checkmarked it, by the way.
Okay. Do you want to talk about your next topic?
The next topic of discussion is called Giannis is a bitch. You guys will get to know her. I won't say much.
Okay. And in response to that, Leah is a mega bitch. Same thing. You'll get to know her. She's actually saved as mega bitch in my phone.
So, we're going to get into a segment where we talk about a TV show that we've watched and do a deep dive on it. Not necessarily a deep dive, but we discuss it. And today's show will be The Vampire Diaries. I first started watching that in, I want to say like 2017. And I've been trying to get this bitch to watch it. Literally since then, like,
Oh.
she always thought it would be too childish for her. Like, she's
And
not
not even
childish.
childish, because I watch a lot of like little teen shows. But honestly, it was just because she was watching it, and
She just does it to spite me. And so,
there's some of that bitch coming out.
in like April, I was able to get her to watch it. And she started watching it. She finished it in like a month. Maybe it was May.
Because it was definitely after my birthday.
Was it May that you started watching it though?
No, because it was after my birthday.
Oh, sorry. I got her to start watching it in June, and she finished it in July. So this 8-season show.
I binge shows really fast.
And she finished it in like a month. Anyways, let's just get into what are your favorite characters, or your top 2 or 1.
My first, I have to
My
pick
first.
one.
1 or 2. And let's do the main ones. You don't have to count Enzo in there. So, spoiler alert, just don't keep watching this segment, I guess. You don't have to count Enzo. Just like, okay, I'm gonna tell you. Elena, Damon, Stefan, Matt, Tyler, Caroline, Bonbon. That's pretty much it.
I'm gonna go with Damon and Stefan.
Okay. Who's
What
your
about
least
you?
favorite?
Least favorite? Between the main characters has to be Matt.
Okay.
He was cool at first, but he just...
My favorite between the main characters is... That's a rough one. I'm gonna say Bonnie or Damon.
Okay.
And then my least favorite is Matt. Like, I don't even feel sorry about it. Like, it's just... Because I've rewatched the show so many times. Oh my god. It always... Like, in the beginning, he's not that bad whatsoever. And it's just always like... My town. I'm not a founding family. I don't belong here. Then leave. After you graduated high school, you could have left. You became a cop. You could have afforded it. Stop crying. Darkness follows vampires everywhere.
Then leave the vampire town.
Literally, you brought this upon yourself, Maddie Matt.
It's literally called Mystic Falls. Mystical things are gonna happen.
Shut the fuck up.
He's so annoying. And then, like, okay, big spoiler alert if you haven't finished the whole show. He literally is the one that killed, what was her name? Penny. And he still had the audacity to be like, I don't blame myself. I blame you, Stefan. Like, you know you did it.
Okay. Who's your favorite villain? Klaus, Kai, Cade, Silas.
And the Sirens.
And the Sirens. I know who your least favorite is from that. Let's talk about your favorite.
Klaus.
Who's your least favorite? Oh, I don't know, I guess.
I guess it would have to be between the Sirens and Cade.
I thought you liked Cade. Ew.
I liked his origin story. I don't know. I felt like he was so meh at the end of it.
I know how. So never asked me.
Oh, who are your favorite villains and your least favorite villain?
Well, my favorite villain is Klaus. My least favorite villain, it's just gonna be Cade for me because he's just a little boring to me. I feel like, he was only in the last, 10 episodes? And like...
And not even that, because at the end he wasn't even there.
Yeah, Kai, as much as I hate him for what he does, I think he's so funny. Like, he has a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
The Sirens didn't bother me so much. I mean, they kind of did when...
They were just annoying, you know?
Especially Sybil. And then Silas, he just had his own problems with Tessa, like, he was a terrorizer, but...
Yeah, and I think, I feel like it's harder for me, because I agree that Kai has a lot of charisma, but I feel like his storyline was much shorter. Like, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I saw a lot less of him than I did Klaus. And I really hated Klaus at the beginning. But then, like...
Well, because to be fair, Klaus is in, like, since the second season. I think they started talking about him at the end of the first one. I don't know why I ran that breath saying that. And then I think they bring him into season 3. Even because season 4 is when Elena's already a vampire, I believe. And then they even bring him back in season 6 and season 8. Like, they just bring him back. And on top of that, we haven't seen the originals yet. I've seen the first episode or 2 when I tried to watch it a couple years ago, but I haven't seen the show. We're going to watch it soon. And then I haven't really heard much good stuff about the legacies. Oh, I forgot about Lark. You know the actor? I don't give a fuck. The actor's a Trumpy.
Hairball.
Oh. So, like, the character I Love Alaric, I was sick to my stomach when he wasn't going to become an original and he died. Sick to my stomach. Literally sick to my stomach. And, like, him talking... Oh! And then Damon going back to the grave with the bourbon, like... Right now we're going through some Reddit posts just to see, like, what we could talk about with y'all.
Do you want to talk about while I look for this? Like, what is the moment, top moment that makes you really emotional, makes you cry?
There's so many. Okay, I have to think about it since season 1. I don't know. I feel like I think the top moment that makes me the most emotional is between the last episode. Oh my god, I can't even breathe sometimes when I'm watching it. I am very much an empath. I cry with music, with shows, especially because I feel like the actors are like, oh.
With your thoughts.
With my thoughts. I cry about everything. I saw a TikTok earlier, and it was a girl dancing with her mom for her quinceañera. Why was I literally crying? I literally, like, just so stupid. But so between the last episode, when, like, Stefan pushes Damon off so that he can kill Catherine, and he's telling Elena, like, I saw a side of Damon that I hadn't seen before since we were just boys, and this is that. And then Damon obviously goes off, Elena goes off to go back to life, and then he starts showing everybody's lives. Obviously in the afterlife, Stefan went with Lexi, and then watching Alaric play with the girls, and then Joe was there watching them, watching Liz watch Caroline. Elena runs to her parents and to Aunt Jenna and John, and then at the end when Damon and Stefan come together, that. And then another moment that makes me cry a lot is when Stefan thought that Damon died, when he went to the afterlife, and so he was, or what's it called, the
other side, or no,
the prison world.
Yeah.
When he went to the prison world, but Stefan didn't know that, and he's about to throw that bottle of bourbon onto the floor, and Damon catches it, and I think, and then another moment, I think the last episode is my top one. Mm-hmm. When Elena turns her emotions off, when how am I supposed to? I can't even. When Jeremy dies. What's another episode? When Stefan killed Enzo. That one was bad, just because I felt really bad for Bonbon.
Poor Bonnie, man.
I know. Oh, and then the episode where Liz dies, and they're trying to get Caroline's emotions back on. She's like, Mom. She ate that performance up.
Did I tell you to stand there and look stupid?
No, I said burn it. Which I feel like y'all could have not given her the real copy.
Like,
y'all could have made a copy.
You live in olden times. You could have made a copy. You could have literally given her a fake envelope. Like, sorry. Wrong. Like,
anyways, what about you?
I would say my top 2 moments are the same as yours. The ending, and then when Stefan thinks that Damon is dead and he comes back. He's like, hey, bro. Yeah, those 2. I would say third would be the Elena when she shuts off her emotions because Jeremy died. Those are my top 3. The other ones, like, it made me sad. And yeah, like a little bit of tears welled up right here, but it wasn't enough to get your throat starts hurting because you want to cry so bad. But it doesn't do that. Only those top 3 do that.
So we're gonna get into the Reddit post.
Mm-hmm. It's titled, so it's by Commercial Shallot 699, and it is titled, Am I the Only One Who Doesn't Like Stefan? Do you want to read the little paragraph she wrote, or he wrote? I don't know.
Every time Stefan goes rogue, people telling him, this is not you. It literally is. For me, he's the least honest character in TVD, and I wish everyone would stop saying him. I think it's cringe the way he's always inserting himself in as the good guy and being all sanctimonious and judgy to everyone else. Don't come at me, but I find him massively annoying. Almost as annoying as Elena.
That's crazy.
We're going to read the first 5 comments.
The first one is, I don't know. I guess my opinion is that no matter how much you suck, it's important to try to do better. And I like that Stefan does that.
I mean, isn't he honest all the time? He tells people he isn't a good person all the time, especially to Elena.
The reason why I like him is because despite what he did, he's still one of the guys, and he does try to apologize for what he has done, and he definitely feels guilty for what he's done. Besides when he's a Ripper, he's kind of hot.
You have to remember that these are teenagers.
Oh, yeah.
You have to remember that these are teenagers. Stefan feels immense guilt causing other people pain and will shut down and hold all of it in. And I think this isn't for you. It's more like reassuring. Oh, what? And I think this isn't you. It's more like reassuring him that this part of his personality isn't everything about him.
Last one we'll read. Or, no, that should be the last one we read. Huh?
No, that was only 3.
Oh, okay. He annoyed me the most when he punched Tyler when he told Caroline to leave and he went into hybrid mode, which wouldn't have happened if she just left in the first place. I don't really remember what they're talking about.
When he punched Tyler?
When he told Caroline to leave and he went into hybrid mode.
That's what you don't like me, huh?
I don't even know. Okay, now this is the last one we read?
Yeah, this is the last one. I'm the same way. I can't stand his self-righteous, morally superior attitude. He constantly acted like he was such a good person, and I was like, bro, you've killed countless people and enjoyed it. Like, you're not better than Damon by any means. At least Damon is upfront about everything. Stefan always hid the truth and forced Elena to find everything out from Damon or her family journals or firsthand when he's about to tear into her throat. And then the reply to that, sorry, this is the last thing, is totally agree with you. Not to mention the fact he was just going to hide from Elena that Catherine existed and she looked exactly like her when they started dating. He gets away with a lot of questionable behavior.
What are your thoughts?
You go first. You're more passionate about this.
I think y'all are fucking with. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be a hater. I just disagree. I guess I see where they're coming from because like he is very self-righteous, but I feel like that would only bother me if it seemed fake, and it doesn't seem fake. I feel like he's very genuinely, he feels guilty, and it's like, okay, are you a vampire? Like, imagine like,
are you?
Yeah, no. Well, like think about like, what if you couldn't eat food, like, and you can only eat food if you had to shut off your emotions? You get me? Like, I don't know, like,
because the addiction.
Yeah, I just feel like it's not like I'm not trying to justify him like tearing people's heads off, but I am, I guess, and I think he genuinely feels guilty for it, and I think he genuinely tries to, like, when he does turn his emotions back on, he tries to make up for it somehow. And I understand that he is doing the same things as Damon, but I think Damon's attitude is what makes him worse, is that he
spilled water on your couch.
What's that? That when Damon was doing it, like throughout the whole show, he didn't really repent for what he did until the very end. He changed and he wanted to be better and he wanted to like sacrifice himself.
Yeah. I don't find Stefan annoying. I actually love him, but I can see why people find him annoying, so that's why that didn't trigger me as bad as Janice. Just because yes, he's very self-righteous and he's very much the type that's like, okay, like for example, he would let Elena make her own decisions, which like, yes, amazing. When sometimes it's like, yes, make her own decisions, but other times it's like, no. Man, that's very hypocritical of me because I want to make my own decisions and I hate when people make them for me. Do you want lotion? But I mean, I can see why people find him annoying. I don't find him annoying at all. That's especially Paul Wesley himself is so funny. Like I don't know if you've seen any videos of him. Like,
I saw the one you showed me earlier.
He has this thing on Instagram where you can pay to be in his close friends, and I'll see the videos on TikTok or something. He's very much, his attitude and sass is very much Silas coded. Like, he's very funny in that way. I think he's super funny. Ian Somerhalder, he's just alright to me as an actor. I mean, he's an amazing actor, but as a person, I haven't seen much from him. I see more of Paul Wesley.
That was a very controversial. Good job. I forgot your name already, but
commercial 6969 something. The first person, right?
Commercial Charlotte 699.
I was so close.
You were so close.
So our next segment is going to be discussing a Reddit post.
Okay, so this one is posted in subreddit Am I the Asshole? And it's posted by ThrowRA-3X Betrayal. It's titled, Am I the asshole to divorce my husband and leave him with the kid after finding out I'm not biologically the mom?
Shut the fuck up. Are you waiting for an audience response? You said...
I'm just reacting. God. Do you want to read it or it's kind of long?
It's whatever you want.
It's super long, actually.
You want to take turns reading paragraphs?
Sure.
Okay, I guess I'm first.
I believe you.
I can't believe my life has come to this. All I ever do is go out of my way to help others, but on the few occasions I need help, nobody ever comes through for me. I, 36 female, have been with my husband, 35 male, for a total of almost 10 years, married for 7. We had what I thought was my child by surrogate over 2 years ago because after 4 years of trying to conceive with no success, despite medical interventions, it turns out I am unable to carry a child to term.
Okay, it's starting to make a little more sense.
Like a lot of sense.
I had always wanted to be a mom. Devastated is an understatement regarding how I felt when I found out I have a medical condition that would make it nearly impossible to carry a baby to term. It was even more upsetting when I had to get a major surgery to remove uterine growths with the hope to increase fertility, and complications during surgery warranted a partial hysterectomy involving removal of my uterus only. I still had my ovaries, so we started looking into cost of a surrogate. It is really expensive. My close friend since college, who'd already had 2 kids of her own, offered to serve as a surrogate for us to cut down on costs. After 2 disappointing IVF sessions that did not result in pregnancy, she became pregnant on the 3rd try and carried a boy to term for us. I was so happy and busy after the birth between being a mom and returning to work after a 4-week parental leave, so I didn't notice any warning signs.
I should have noticed the red flags and warning signs early on, but did not because I was so exhausted from working so much at my stressful job and 2 part-time jobs to cover most of the bills and anticipated medical and legal costs associated with this friend becoming our surrogate. I was the primary breadwinner. My friend and my husband started talking more, and I would sometimes come home from my weekend job to find her already hanging out at our house when my husband was there. I chalked it up as an innocuous, and it's good for her to know my husband better since she was in the process of hopefully carrying our child for us. I was grateful to have someone helping us have a child. I also thought it was weird that our son has brown eyes when both of us have blue. Then I found out that while this is uncommon, it's possible sometimes due to many genes controlling eye color.
Recently, it all came to a head when I took our son to a doctor's appointment and they did metabolic panel. Recently, it all came to a head when I took our son to a doctor's appointment and they did a metabolic panel and blood test, which showed that he had a blood type that is not biologically possible to have with me as his mother. He's B+, I'm A+, husband is... He's B+, I'm A+. He's B+, I'm A+, husband is O+. Immediately, I started worrying it was the fertility clinic's fault and that they'd messed up and implanted a wrong embryo. I started lining up lawyer consultations to possibly sue the clinic and looked into having a DNA parentage test done. The test results showed that I'm not the mother, but my husband still is the father. I was heartbroken and angrier than ever. Talked to my lawyers about medical malpractice in the fertility clinic we'd used. Then my husband confessed that he'd slept with my friend, our surrogate, on a few different occasions during our struggle to have her get pregnant with our embryos. This means what I thought was our son conceived by IVF and carried with a surrogate isn't my son at all and was in fact conceived the old-fashioned way, which I can't ever do. Livid and absolutely broken at the same time doesn't even begin to describe how I feel. I have been breaking down into crying spells over and over again about this. He claims he didn't ever think pregnancy could result because he pulled out and he had... Oh, so he wasn't even trying to just... I thought it was because he was trying to, for the baby. Anyways, He claims he didn't ever think pregnancy could result because he pulled out and he had always assumed that he was the reason for our earlier struggles to conceive, both before my hysterectomy and during the IVF insemination process with this friend.
I felt an immediate triple betrayal from what was supposed to be my husband, my friend, and now knowing my child isn't even really mine. I had such white-hot rage and delirium. I immediately left home and stayed at a hotel for almost a week before asking my parents to let me stay at home for a while. I admit I left our son with him. I am now filing divorce because he cheated and betrayed me in the worst possible way. I have also cut off my friendship with my friend, the surrogate, and feel afraid to trust anyone else now. I have seen a divorce lawyer to see about giving up my legal rights to this kid so I don't have to face such betrayal or owe child support.
My husband and friend/surrogate admit they were wrong and keep apologizing, but also called me immature and heartless to just give up on my son like that. My parents also say I can't just give up on a kid that I went through so many legal and medical hoops to have. When I told them I refused to stay in a cheater marriage and I'd rather adopt someday with a better, more trustworthy partner, they also told me I was wrong and that maintaining my parental rights isn't much different than if I adopted outright. They said it isn't blood that makes a family. They are all about me divorcing my cheater husband, but keep telling me I'm making a mistake giving up my parental rights. Some of my other friends agree with what I'm doing. A few admitted they weren't big enough to swallow pride and care for an affair baby, quote unquote, or to see daily reminders of my friend/surrogate's betrayal every time I look at her son. I just want a clean break and a fresh start. I'm also looking at relocating several states away. Am I the asshole to give up my parental rights in the divorce because a kid I paid a lot of money to have born by surrogacy isn't biologically mine at all, but the surrogates?
The first comment says, he cheated. He cheated. It's not yours. I will absolutely tell you what I tell men posting this. It would be wonderful if you love the kid enough to stay, but if you're in shock and damaged too much to do so, you aren't the asshole for walking away. Not the asshole. And I'm glad to see most of the replies so far agree. I hope we keep this energy for anyone put in this spot from now on.
Next comment down is not the asshole. Did you firm a contract for the surrogacy? Because you can sue them for a scam. Also for emotional damage, I think your parents aren't thinking about you and your well-being.
What do you think?
I'm not gonna lie, at first I was thinking she was kind of an asshole for like up and leaving the kid, because it's like,
that's still your kid.
Yeah, like that's all that
like
kid
blood.
knows, you know, like the kid doesn't see the friend as a mom, he sees you as a mom. And while I do think that is fucked up towards the kids, once you read that first comment, it made me kind of shift a little bit, because I do think like if the roles were reversed, let's say that a woman cheated on her husband and she got pregnant by someone else and it turned out that it wasn't his kid and he left, although again I would think it was fucked up, I wouldn't blame him because it's not his kid. So I don't think she's an asshole necessarily, especially like as that comment said, if it's only gonna make her like treat that kid differently. I just think it's a fucked up situation for that child.
Yeah, and luckily she's at the point where the kid is not in their teens or old enough to remember anything. I think.
How old is the kid again?
Like 2.
Oh, okay.
I think that, yeah, it would be great if she could put that aside and like still care for the kid and divorce the husband, but like care for the kid and
oh my god,
and love on him. But I don't really blame her, just because it's like, well, you're seeing this literal formation of what was the betrayal between your friend and your husband every day, taking care of him. It's just kind of like, you wouldn't want to resent the kid, so why not leave while she still has love for the kid? She could love him from a distance, and like just always wish him the best, rather than have that love turn into resentment, and in the future like she might treat him differently. Like you said, like I said, it would be ideal if she could put that aside, but nobody should expect that from her, because she literally just got faced with such betrayal. So I think she's not the asshole. She is the victim in all of this, and unfortunately so is the kid, because it's not his fault that his mommy and his daddy, biological mommy and daddy, are fucked up people.
Yeah, it's a really fucked up situation. I read that and it's like, is this a fake story? But now that I know the details, it makes sense.
That's why you should never judge before knowing the full story.
Don't judge a book by its cover, guys.
Which is exactly what she was doing.
Yeah, it was.
So let us know what y'all think in the comments down below.
So we have one final topic for today's video. We are gonna be talking about my sassy dad, our sassy dad. He's a very sassy man, and we're thinking we'll, occasionally do this, but we just want to read you guys like one of his sassiest messages because it's really funny.
He's a funny guy.
Very funny.
Right.
Take a screenshot. So, backstory, my parents have a ice maker. I don't know what it's called at their house. Very fancy. He sent a picture and everything. Do you want to do the honors?
Sure. So, another backstory real quick is that this part of the ice machine needs to be filled up with water, especially during the summer, because like we run through it like several times a day because obviously we're drinking water, so that needs to be refilled with water so that it can make this wonderful, beautiful, amazing ice.
Such good ice.
So my dad, it's Wednesday, May 29th at 9 p.m. he sends this message
In the family group that has...
It's me, her, my parents, and then my cousin who was living with us, plus another cousin.
Just
for her. Question. Besides mom, how many of you whom live in this house use ice? How many of you have eyes? How many of you have some understanding of the process for this machine to make ice? It may be a shock to you, but it needs water. If you see the damn reservoir low or half empty, fill it up.
Exclamation.
Boy! He's just an angry person. And I responded with, sorry, I'll keep that in mind. I think she told me to respond with that. It's just
like... Dad,
he's right.
You,
he
okay?
ate us up.
He is
he
right.
ate us up. He's correct.
It's just so funny how sassy his messages are. It's so funny.
And it's so funny, especially because okay, so recently, and by recently I mean like yesterday, the day before, he was eating a bag of chips and he leaves the bag open with literally 3 crumbs.
Let me pull up the picture.
And puts it in the pantry. And if it were myself or my cousin, if he was still living there, literally what he did.
Can you see it?
Yeah. If it was my cousin or myself who did that, especially my cousin, he would have a fit. He would take a picture and be like, how many of you who live in this house eat chips?
How many of you have some sense of an understanding of what it is to throw something in the trash?
Or, it's not even that. If you're going to keep eating it,
finish it.
Close it.
Oh, yeah, that too.
And so my mom sent that photo and she was like, what did she put? What is this?
Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah, are you kidding me? And so when me and my mom called them out on it in person, he was like, I'm still gonna eat them. I'm gonna eat them later.
Or what's his favorite saying whenever you call him out for being hypocritical?
I always call him out for being hypocritical, by the way, because he is. And he'll be like, do as I say, not as I do. It's like, boy, hypocrite.
We just think it's
He's just funny, and there's many more where that came from as far as messages like that go.
Sometimes it's not even... My dad is very... And he knows this. He acknowledges this. He loves to sermonear, which means... to
lecturing.
Like, yeah. He just loves to lecture people. Like, especially if it's like on a night where like we're at home drinking. He'll sit you down and he'll tell you about yourself.
And not just us. Not just us.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody.
Anybody.
He's a good time. But once he comes to that stage, oh boy. Oh boy. But yeah, that is the end of that segment. Maybe we'll throw it in here in a couple of weeks to come. Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video.
This has been JanLeah Junction. Thank you guys for your continuous support and patience with us as we, go through the motions. So far, we have 1 subscriber that isn't us, and it's our cousin who we asked to subscribe. But you know what? Thank you. Either way,
And drop some like suggestions for topics. Let us know if you like these topics, because I thought they were kind of fun.
Yeah, and what you want to see more of from us. We're still trying to see what our vibe is. What, you know, everything's different right now.
We're finding our footing right now.
Yeah, finding our footing. Period. And, so yeah, we're just gonna go through the motions. But like I said, this has been JanLeah Junction.
And please join us again next week.
Like and subscribe. Bye.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed tonight's video.
Yes. Okay, go.